You're listening to Zoom the TBT with Charge and Hayner.
This is Zoom the TBT of Charge and Hayner, and it is basically the TBT equivalent of Christmas Eve. We are here with Santa. Charge, your beard is appropriate. How are you doing this evening?
Yeah, I got the gray too. Yeah, so just like Santa, a little bit of the belly, but yeah, my evening's going great. As you said, Selection Eve. So we are here. The time this airs, 12 hours away from the TBT selection show. Can't wait.
Yeah, we're going to release this at 11:55 p.m. Eastern time. So we're going to keep you up a little bit time, but we're going to be quick. We're going to be dirty. We're going to be fast. Okay, so first we'll do a very short recap. We got 8 regions. They're all now known. We got Rucker, we got Cuse, we got Dayton, we got the Zip 'em Up, Xavier, West Virginia, Omaha, Wichita, and New Mexico. We got a lot of fun places to go. Charge and I are trying to figure out where we're going to go. I'm going to go to at least 2 or 3. Charge trying to get what he can. We'll figure that out later so you guys can buy us a drink or a beer. But having said that, let's get right into this. We want to make this fast today, too. So we're going to just get right into it. We're going to make these very short because we are low on time, and it is, again, selection need. So we're going to basically be doing these pretty quick. So, Omaha, we have the Gutter Cat Gang as the 1 seed. We have the Guys as the 8. Always Us as the 4. The Blue Crew as the 5. Overtime Elite as the 3. The Underdogs as the 6. Team Arkansas as a 2. And the Crew, the Valpo alums, at number 7. We were going to have a 1-minute analysis by Charge. Charge, 1 minute, go.
Yeah, no, this is a fantastic region. We have 8 strong teams. B1 Ballers, unfortunately, last man out, bought in last year. Don't think they have enough juice to get in this year with the addition of the alumni team like the Crew. Jackson Underdogs is always going to be a staple here. But the top of this bracket got really, really interesting with the Gutter Cat Gang. Obviously, Team Hines and Friends is going to be dominating. Team Arkansas, you've got Barford, and you've got Weems supposedly playing this year is going to be good. And I'm intrigued by Overtime's Elite. So they got the Thompson twins plus guys like Marcus Thornton, the number 1 Marcus Thornton from William & Mary. So this is going to be real fun. The only thing people are going to argue here probably is why I put the Omaha Blue Crew so low. But when you look at Gutter Cat, Overtime's Elite, Arkansas, Always Us, where can you really put those guys?
Okay, real quick, most underseeded on our bracket.
Most underseeded. Oh, you put me on I like what I did here, man. I think this one is as solid as it gets. Who do you have? This is on the money.
Underdogs most underseeded. If the 1 seed,
I don't know, because they got Will Coleman, you're going but this is a great matchup.
We're short on time. Who's the dark horse? The dark horse, this one here, I mean, and it's not really a dark horse, but I really like Overtime Elite, with the young guys, with the veteran core they have there, some guys that can make some buckets. I think they get there. But, yeah, if it makes you feel better, we can flip Overtime's Elite and Jackson, Tennessee Underdogs. Kind of wanted to see that matchup, but I think Overtime Elite's just a little better. Okay, and that is your quick recap of what we think the Omaha Regional will be. Moving along, we have the Wichita Regional. And we're going to go ahead and get these teams going. We have the Aftershocks as your 1 seed, a very dangerous purple and white with Jacob Pullen coming back as the 8. The Stillwater Stars, who again are still being scored on by Eberline as the 4. The coldest logo in sports, the number 5, Fort Wayne Funk. The Air Raiders at number 3. The Mean Green, they asked for it on Twitter. They're getting it at number 6. Eberline drives at 2. And Friends of the Pod, we are D3. Charge, 1-minute analysis, go.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Aftershocks made that good run last year, get that home crowd again. So went a little deeper. TBT favors that. So I'm going to give them the number 1. But obviously the 2 and 3 to me is going to be the story. One of these two are going to get out of there. So whoever wins that 2-3 game between Eberline and Air Raiders, assuming they move on, I think is going to take this bracket. Our good friends at D3 looking for their first tournament win against a tough Eberline drive. But a lot of great alumni teams here. It's going to be a lot of fun. I hate putting purple and black down so low, but they are getting a little older. They've been around for a little while. So, I just thought it'd be an intriguing matchup, Wichita versus K-State in the first round. But watch for Lone Star Legends. If we get something wrong here, I do like that Lone Star Legends team, and maybe they'll sneak in there and bump somebody out.
Okay, real quick. Dark horse, again. Team that you think can win out of this region's lower seed.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm really just looking at the lower seeds, I still love what D3 does, even though they have not won a game yet. They've, I think, if I check our numbers, have won every single first half they played. So they're in it. They're competitive. They get better every year. So if I'm going to go with a low seed that I'm going to roll with, I'm going to go with We Are D3.
I got to say this too, that 3-6 grudge match will be fun. And I'll call it right now. I'm calling my shot. If this is what happens, purple and black pulls the 8-1 on the Wichita's home floor. They end it right there.
I went against Wichita last year and got blown up, so I can't do it this year. But I still think Everline or Air Raider gets out of here.
Wichita, that's your fast region. We're going to keep it moving. Okay, we got the Xavier region real quick. Let's go ahead and get into this. So we're going to have – this is tough because we had co-number ones here. The one of Florida TNT versus whatever Sweet Home Alabama is. Fort Wayne, friend of the program, versus Always Ballin' About Billions. Zip them up as the host 3 against the Nasty Natty. Again, I will be putting a bounty on the Natty. So Xavier, zip them up, call me. You get a bounty there. And, of course, sideline against diabetes, disease on disease. Charge your min analysis. Go.
Yeah, and I think this one is as straightforward as any of them in the entire tournament. We had pretty much 8 teams to choose from, so that made it easy. But everything else lines up pretty straightforward. I think the only debate's going to be one, if you go TNT, which is the right thing to do based on their last year run, and they got better this year than they were last year, and sideline got better. But, give them credit for that deep run. But I can't wait to see Zip them up and Natty at 6-3. That's going to be a fantastic matchup. And I'll just tell you now, the team to watch out for is obviously our guys from Fort Wayne, the Fort Wayne champs. They build a roster right, guys that are going to work together, play together. I liked About Billions a lot better when TMT was in this bracket, but I think they are a much improved team from last year. They got a lot of Cincinnati connections, so right thing to do to put them in there. But going to be another fun regional.
Okay, so I think this is a good true seeding. I like the seed here. What do you think the odds are they move Zip them up to the 1 and force a TNT sideline 2-3 matchup and make literally 2 of the best teams in the thing play in the second round?
0.
0? Okay, you're calling it.
I don't think it. Yeah, I just.
0, but not high. Go ahead.
I just don't see a way around it. I mean, if you want to throw them a bone and put them at 2 versus 3 over sideline, but that's kind of crazy too. But
no,
sideline and TRT are just too well. Good track records, proven winners, and Zip them up had a great team last year, ran into some injuries. So this is their chance to work up for the 3 and prove themselves.
There we go. And I'm going to call it now. Natty wins the fist fight if they don't win the game. So Cincinnati will win
I thought you were going to pick it for a second there. Yeah.
That's your quick Xavier regional. We're going to keep it moving now. Again, we're trying to make this quick tonight. We are at the Rucker Park regional. So, again, this one was the hardest one to seed. Autism Army at 1 against Peacock Nation, trying to get that sort of March Madness magic back in there. The Expats at 4 versus HBC United. We have the Hoyle logo that will still be skipped to my Lou with Playground legend Rafe Alston against the AC Legends at 6. And then YGC at 2 against the Mental Toughness team at 7 with a host of good bubble teams got bounced. So charge, mid-analysis, go.
Yeah, no, this one here, obviously looking at the bubble, this thing was absolutely crazy. Obviously, the teams you're seeing here a little bit different than you see with the other regionals based on it. It is Rucker, it is outdoors, so we knew this was going to be a challenge, and only select teams would look to go here, play here, so that is what we're seeing. But this bubble was gigantic, a lot of deserving teams to really kind of sort through, wade through. But Autism Army has history, going to have a great squad, so I think they're the clear-cut number 1 here. But between Skip to my Lou and this YGC team, that Marcus Smart team, I think is going to be really, really good. I think that's going to be the team that surprises people. Just because the name's not recognizable doesn't mean they're not going to show up and play hard. But I think the game of this bracket, if it falls out the way that we're anticipating, is going to be Expats at HBCU. Expats has a great squad. HBCU is much improved from last year. So this one here, like I said, the bubble is deep. So, we may have gotten 1 or 2 wrong here, but I feel pretty good about where we're at.
I will say this is probably the one that has the most surprises. If you had to promote one team from the bubble into the field, it's a deep bubble, who would it be?
Oh, you already know that. Well, actually, the team I want is who for ALSF. Can't even speak. ALSF. That's who I want, but I think there's one more team on the bubble. I mentioned this before. They've been in the TBT 6 times, and the Chicago Hoopville Warriors obviously has a lot
Always
of good
come to play.
So I truly feel they're going to be in here, but I don't know who to bump. And I don't think
find
they're
out.
really
Find
better
out
than
in
one of the
hours.
eight we have there. But that's the one that I would promote if I had a chance to promote and had a little bit of a crystal ball.
Okay, Rucker Park. We're gonna keep it moving. We're gonna go to New Mexico now, much like Breaking Bad. That's kind of where we're gonna hang out here. So let's see here as we cook our thing. So again, New Mexico, we have Heartfire versus Ram Up in a very sort of weirdly underseeded matchup. We have LA Cheaters at 4 seed against Competitive Choice the 5. The Enchantment is 3 against Panamint in-state rivalry, and then Challenge ALS against Once a Bronco, with Fort Hood being the very, very hard luck bubble. So first of all, talk about Charge. You got a minute, but start with the Hood, how hard a bump that was.
Yeah, no, the Fort Hood Wounded Warriors, I know we've talked to these guys quite a bit, and we think they're a quality team, probably could have gotten in somewhere else, but sitting where we are in New Mexico, just no room for Fort Hood. You got a couple of alumni teams, smaller alumni schools that are going to move in there, in my opinion, with the Boise State team, the Colorado State team. But the story here, I think, is just that top 4. I mean, you can almost see these things interchangeably. We talk about that all the time, some of the parity, but Heartfire obviously made that great run last year, so deserves the number 1 seed. I was teasing them earlier today, a little bit advanced age on their squad, but there's still some ballers out there, and they're going to do well again this year. But Challenge ALS, most improved team in the tournament this year by a landslide. They're bringing out all the weapons. Enchantment versus Panamaniacs is going to be insane, but really, when you look at the Cheaters and Competitive Choice, for a buy-in team, Competitive Choice is no pushover. They just added a Sir Don Pointer, best defensive player.
One of your guys.
One of my guys, Charge guys. So, this year is, to me, one of the more intriguing brackets because there's so many teams at the top that can make a run on this thing. There are 4 very, very strong at the top, and I wouldn't discount a team like Competitive Choice, pulling an upset over the Cheaters.
Who comes out?
Who comes out? That's a tough one. I got to go with my guys from Challenge ALS. I think they're just going to be the deeper team, on paper, the more talented team. Even though I'm calling an upset a little bit. Cheaters, though, if they come with the right team and they play together, it could be scary. So I obviously Heartfire, friend of the pod, but I think it's going to be ALS, and if not, Cheaters.
Okay, there we go. We'll keep it moving. Okay, so we now have the Syracuse region. So let's get to this real fast. And we have, again, in Syracuse, Bayheim's Army is the 1, India Rising is the 8, the Big 5 is a 4, and the intercity rival at the NG Saints. Friday, friends, odds, the former armored athlete versus the nerd team, Nerds and Beer. What a combination. Blue collar, you white, a great map of Northeastern range schools with Muscle MD and Paris United as our tough cuts. Charge, you have a minute. What are you thinking about this?
Yeah, and I think this one's another one that's pretty straightforward overall. Obviously, Paris United, MDA on the outside looking in, but everything else goes pretty normal. Bayheim's Army obviously recovering from losing Rice and Sykes not playing this year, but did a nice job backfilling that. And then you've got teams like UB, right behind them in the number 2, who had a great run that last year. Friday Beers, the old armored athlete guys, are going to be a fantastic team. And then look at that 4 or 5 matchup if this plays out. The Big 5 and Newman Goretti would be a fun to watch. But even after that, nerd team, brown and white, India Rising, I think is going to be better than they get credit for. I'm obviously probably going to get a tough draw versus Bayheim Army. But this year to me is just a top to bottom 1 through 8, just 8 well-deserving teams and 8 strong teams. So anything can really happen here.
I will say the Bayheim's Army India Rising game, if that holds, will be sort of an inner problem in my household because the girlfriend is Indian and she's a Syracuse fan. So she really want to know which team to root for in that one, I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Charge, who comes out? Does Bayheim's hold serve? Does someone else sneak out of here?
I think Bayheim's is going to hold serve. Last year, I think they, had that loaded roster that they put together, struggled a little bit in the early parts of TBT. I think they're going to not take anything for granted, and they're just going to come out all business and take care of this bracket. But they'll be challenged, but I like their chances of making a run again this year.
Calling it now, the winner of Friday Beers, Blue Collar U, knocks off the Cuse guys in Cuse. Okay, here we go. Next stop, West Virginia, a place we very well might be going. So, the West Virginia region. We have Best Virginia as the 1, the Georgia Kings as the 8, Loco Showtime as the 4, War Ready, Punching Bags, but Friends of the Pod at number 5. Heard That is the 3, which will piss Ott off. The Founding Fathers of JMU as a 6. ETSU, The Buccaneers at 2. And whatever a fully loaded is at 7 with a very discreet and powerful bubble. Charge, you have a minute. Where are you going with this?
Yeah, no, this bubble was another one that was crazy. Almost as bad as the Rucker bubble, because when you see teams like DRC on the outside looking in, that's a scary place to be. Just shows the amount of talent that was in this particular one. The Liberty Flames on the outside looking in, another tough cut. But, when you start to look at this bracket, I mean, West Virginia, I once again think this is the best team they've had since they've been playing. East Tennessee made that great run last year. Ott's going to be mad with the number 3, but,
this one's not live. You can't yell at us and lie. This is a taped one.
I still hope they fall to number 4 because I really, really, really want this West Virginia. Heard That matchup in the 1-4.
You lack faith of them getting to the final.
They haven't done it. When I say they, Heard That West Virginia have not been able to, make it mesh. Whether it's West Virginia going early or Heard That going early, but I'd love to see the 1-4. That would take some maneuvering to do, but it should be interesting. And then, if this plays out the way we think it is, Woco Showtime and War Ready.
Great game.
This Auburn team has to rise to the occasion this time. We talked about earlier in the season, there's a chance that these guys, could be a bubble team and may not make it in. But we think they get in. And, but overall, well-rounded region. Georgia Kings will give everyone a challenge. But I think the story here is going to be that top 4 is pretty good watching between West Virginia, Heard, East Tennessee, and Woco Showtime is a great core 4 at the top of here. And some folks very talented looking ups at them.
That makes sense. Okay, we have one region to go, and it will be the Dayton Regional. So we're going to start again in Dayton. We have the Golden Eagles as a 1, Athletics Miami as an 8, the Men of Mackey at 4, Ohio 1804 as a 5, the Money Team at 3, Mid-American Unity as a 6, Red Scare as a 2 as the host, and the PRL Stars rounding out at 7. Charge, where are you going with this?
Yeah, this one here, the top is so heavy here with the Golden Eagles. Made some good upgrades. Got Deontay Burton on their team this year. They have a little bit of consistent history, so I like Golden Eagles being the number 1. Some folks we talked to are debating that. Think it might be TMT. Some people we talked to think it might be Red Scare. So, good luck to the TBT committee with what they bring out. But all 3 of those teams are capable of winning the whole tournament. So I think this 3 at the top is very, very strong. I don't know if anyone's going to really challenge that top 3, but Men and Mackey, Ohio University is going to be a solid matchup. That's going to be a lot of fun to watch, and you can't count anyone out. Men and Mackey's made a run in the past, and so we will see what happens. But in this one here, I'd really love to see Red Scare make a run at home in Dayton with this nice loaded roster. Once again, their best roster they've ever put together. So you see how the TBT just keeps amping itself up and really stretching the potential of these teams. So that's the one to watch. And then TMT, you never know who's going to show up for TMT to play.
I will say this, we're going to do analysis a little bit more, but rest in peace to Caleb Swigand. Purdue alum died today. Very sad. So hopefully Men and Mackey can do him some honor this time. So rest in peace to a great coach player. We're really sad to hear about that. Okay, so that's the whole regional scrub. Charge, take a breath real quick. So we're going to, breathe in, breathe out, because we're done doing our Twitter promos. Anybody who listens to our show a lot knows pretty well that we try to do this on kind of a budget of time. We're both professionals, so the reason probably we do this in a hurry is plus you guys' attention span is limited. A lot of you guys aren't readers. We're well aware of that. But also the fact we want to use those for Twitter cuts, and there's a 2-minute limit. So we were trying to keep those under a certain amount. So we're going to breathe a little. And while we breathe, Charge, breathe in. We're going to graphically show the entire field projected, okay, which will help a lot. So you can see the different lines. It starts to talk about the regions. I have no idea why. There you go. The animation is going so slowly, but it is popping up on my screen. It's finally up on the screen. Charge, just the whole field. First of all, look at the bubble briefly. Name your 1 or 2 toughest cuts. Actually, name a team from a basketball standpoint that was toughest, and name a team from an emotional standpoint that was toughest.
Yeah, from a basketball standpoint, I think the one that sticks out in here is DRC. These guys have been competitive in the tournament for quite some time now. Not obviously the same team that they won some games with in the past, but I think that's a tough cut. And Liberty, I think, is a tough cut because these alumni teams, first year alumni team trying to get in, they made a great effort, and I think it made a great run. But if they truly are on the outside looking in, those are tough cuts. I think both deserving to go in and make it into TBT. If not this year, next year, keep coming back and trying because, that's what makes the TBT great is people get better every year and the field gets better every year.
I will say this, the toughest cut from a basketball standpoint to me, I think, was clearly Fort Hood. I think they are always competitive. They're really good. Want to give a shout to Virginia Dream, too. They made a really, really nice roster. So, that wouldn't surprise me if they snuck in this field. Brooklyn Redeem, I really wanted that playing game.
Yeah. Both of those guys, those are tough, too. Both of those GMs between Redeem and Brooklyn deserve to find their way in this tournament at some point, sometime. So maybe that is a play-in tournament of some kind. But that just shows how deep it is, even with a few, kind of staples like Carmen's Crew and House of Pain not being in here. It just shows how deep it is and how many people are looking to vie for a position here. So, wish them the best of luck if they're not in. Obviously, this is our opinions and some of it based on information we gathered from the GMs, et cetera. But TBT, obviously, making those final selections will do what they think is best for the tournament.
Okay, so real quick, obviously, there's a few things, and we'll go ahead and say this. I don't really care. There's two things that we kind of know might change with this. So there's exactly two spots we know are in a little bit of flux. So we'll go ahead and just say that now. There's a team swap in there somewhere. We can admit that, right? There's a 1-to-1 swap between regions, correct? We can say that.
Yeah.
And that's pretty common. And also the cut line might be a little flexible because there's one or two teams that we may have gotten wrong. Having said that, I'm pretty confident this will be what? We think this is probably at least 60 to 62 of the 64 teams, right? We're pretty confident?
Yeah, I would be shocked if we fell below 63. Obviously the spacing and the seeding may change, but
Sure.
I would think no more than two teams are missing from here.
I think we might be as many as 3 off, actually, but we'll see. I think we're 6. On that note, Charge, which region? And this is the last thing we'll say. Short evening. Which region are you most excited about now that you start to see the teams that are going in? They're all good, but which one are you?
Yeah, they're all good, but I'm really, really excited about, most of the local ones, to be honest with you, where I could get to. But that West Virginia just has a lot of drama in there between West Virginia and Heard That. And then the Buccaneers GM called out Heard That recently. Woco Showtime is underrated, but a solid team. War Ready looking for their first win. I just think there's a lot of good storylines in there that's going to be fun. Sure. And then Cincinnati, you can make the argument the best two teams in the tournament are in Cincinnati with Florida TNT and Sideline Cancer and zip them up right behind them, which is just kind of crazy in that aspect. And then same thing in Dayton. It's just so heavy at the top of those top 3 teams. So those are the ones I kind of got my eyes on. And, I look at them a little closer because they're local and I might be getting there. But, it's just great tournament, great 8 regionals. And we're going to be less than 12 hours away the time this airs.
Yeah, on that note, then I guess that's good. We're going to make this a short episode because we're going to be doing wall-to-wall coverage. We're going to do a couple of Twitter things and also show tonight. Talk about the feed. So 12 now, episode 13 in about 20 hours. So Charge, it's been fun, right? Let's see what happens.
Absolutely. Have a good night, Hainer. We'll be back at it early.
Well, yeah, early for me because I'm a vampire. Okay, this has been Zoom the TBT. Final projections. Signing off.
Hope you enjoyed listening to Zoom the TBT with Charge and Hainer. Subscribe to YouTube, follow on Twitter, and give us your money.